Alabama got a big win on the road against Ole Miss yesterday, 30-24, and it felt like for the first time in a couple of games, Alabama played a lot closer to that Nick Saban standard that we have talked about a lot over the past few weeks. Now, have they reached the standard just yet? I don't know, but I do believe that you're headed in the right direction. Bad news and good news for Alabama Crimson Tide fans. I always like to get good news second. I think that's a better way to deliver it, better news to receive it. So we're going to start with the bad news first. The bad news is, as of right now, the bully effect for Alabama is a little bit watered down, if not non-existent. And what do I mean by that? For the past few seasons, when Alabama rolls into town or you got to go to Tuscaloosa, whatever it is, whenever you see those crimson jerseys across from you, whenever you see the go on the sideline, it would strike fear into the hearts of the opposition. The palms get sweaty, the knees get weak. Maybe you do, maybe you don't see your mother's spaghetti yet again. You hear what I'm saying here? Like, that was kind of the nature of how things went when you played Alabama. You knew the bully was on the other sideline, and you would have to do something quick, fast, in a hurry, or you would have to submit. Well, Ole Miss yesterday, they weren't afraid of him. They went right at him, 191 yards rushing. Did a lot better job than Alabama playing the run in the second half, so that's encouraging. But all that's to say, like, Ole Miss welcomed Alabama to town, threw a punch. Not something that Alabama, over the past few years at least, has been extremely accustomed to. You know you're going to get your best shot if you're Alabama. You know that's what teams bring every single week. That's just kind of the nature of being at Alabama. But Ole Miss connected on a punch yesterday. Now, the good news for Alabama is they got pushed around, and then what'd you see from them? They pushed right back. And I think that helped settle a lot of the narrative that we were talking about during the week. Not us. A lot of other people were talking about during the week, saying, well, Alabama, they don't really have as much to play for as they're used to, right? They are not, they're not playing for the SEC title, as, they're not playing for the college football playoff. Like, Alabama, we'll see what they're made of now. They got a lot of talented players, but we'll see what's under the hood this coming Saturday when they go to Ole Miss. Alabama struggled on the road. They got to go to Ole Miss. We'll see. We'll see about that. Well, they proved yesterday they're not just a bunch of talented players. They've got a lot of talent. They've got a lot of stars on that sideline. That's no secret. They showed a whole lot of pride yesterday. Will Anderson Jr., a guy that was banged up a lot yesterday, his status, to my understanding, at different times was in question during that game. And what'd you see at the end? Will Anderson running around, flying around, giving 110% effort, making plays. Bryce Young, a guy who has a whole lot of money waiting for him in the NFL when he gets there. He left his heart and soul on that field yet again. And the unfortunate news for Alabama as an offense is you're still very much reliant on Bryce Young. If we're being honest, like, you still rely on him to make big plays happen. You know it and I know it. But you saw a lot of life from that Alabama program yesterday, and a lot of fight, a lot of, refusing to going into that good night quietly. And I think that's a really good sign for Alabama. What this comes down to for me, yet again, is the final play on the road. Like, so many of these plays have come down to the final play on the road for Alabama, and they find another way yesterday to come up on the right side of it. So translation, yet again, if we want to keep this whole translation thing going, Nick Saban still got it. Like, if Nick Saban wasn't, able to get his team up for this kind of game, maybe you get to have a little more of a conversation, or maybe that a conversation that just continues to carry on. But you were on the road against a top 11 team, not as much to play for, in the age of the portal, where a lot of these guys are going to have a chance to go somewhere else as soon as they, have December 5th, I believe it is, arrive on that calendar. That's when it opens up. You got down 17-7. There was every single excuse in the world for them to pack it in. And Nick Saban rallied the troops. You could see he was fiery on that sideline. He got after him. He let him know what the deal was. And the team got a lot closer to playing to that standard and ended up winning the game. Is this his best team like we thought it would be? No, it's not. Record indicates as much. The tape indicates as much. The numbers indicate as much. There's nowhere to hide from that. Alabama, according to expectations externally and internally, has underachieved this year. didn't look like they were impacted by that at all yesterday from the game I was watching. So the Saban standard is very much still intact. I'm excited to see how they finish the year, excited to see what they do in the bowl game. So Alabama makes a point for their culture, for their standard, for what Nick Saban has built. It's still intact. It is still very much reality in Tuscaloosa. And like I said, whenever Nick Saban takes a couple steps back the year before, the next year is usually a bad deal for the rest of college football. I'll leave it at that. I'm Jody Pickell. This has been The Hard Count. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, we'd love to have you along for the ride. Come join the party. Nick Brake does the real heavy lifting. You drive this whole operation by subscribing. The People Show, all right? Everything you know and love about college football, it happens here on a daily basis. We want you a part of it, so come join. We're going to keep the party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.